coast, North Carolina and Myrtle Beach and all that?
Yeah, 1988 came up through Charleston.
Yeah, I got a t-shirt from that. I survived Hurricane Hugo. I think it was 1989, but I'm trying to remember the date on it. But yeah, it come through and it was powerful. And it really was but about a cat 2, I think, when it hit our area. But it just blew everything down.
The thing about this Hurricane Helene, it was exactly 66 years ago on the same date.
Yeah, I think what caused all the damage here was the rain, because, I mean, it just, well, 2 days before, it was like a river of storms just come up through western North Carolina and just saturated everything. And then when the hurricane actually got here, it just sat on top of us and just dropped 30 inches of rain.
Lynn?
Yes?
I don't believe a word you're saying, because I've been listening to the environmentalists of late, and they say that hurricanes are the cause of recent human activity, so there couldn't have been a hurricane of any proportion at the time you're speaking of.
Ron?
Yes?
Apparently these idiots have never read the Bible, because the weather has always created devastation since the beginning of time, so I don't think it was a man-made event. That's why I was wondering why Homeland Security was showing up over here.
Where, at your neck of the woods?
No, over there in Chandler, somebody was talking about Homeland Security and showed up over there. Now, I don't know the validity of that, but they brought in equipment and all, and that could be a medical unit or something. I don't know, because you hear so many things, but when people see things and can visibly tell you about it, it makes you wonder.
Yeah, you know what I was wondering about the other day is that there was a report that the water level over the spillway at the end of B-Tree Road there, or the B-Tree community, was 10 foot higher than the spillway. And I'm trying to think of who could have been anywhere near that viewing that.
I know, and somebody, I don't know, they said that it came from the sheriff's department or something, that the B-Tree dam was compromised and was going to collapse, and people were evacuating. Then all of a sudden there was a release on Facebook saying, no, the dam is secure. So I don't know. You know, when things like this happen, there's so much information that you have to question things. There's an old fella on here last night said, well, I'm watching all these cars leave the area. Should I leave?
Well, actually, that's a good question. You know, one way to deal with the situation here is just to get up and leave and go somewhere else.
I sort of agree with that, Ron, because if I lived below a dam and the rain kind of damaged in the area, I think I would leave and get to higher ground.
You know, I was thinking about China. They're building a multitude of dams on the Yangtze River, which is a extremely hazardous earthquake area, and there are multiple communities along the river there that would be inundated, just wiped out if one of the dams broke. But they have a series of dams that they're building, not just one on the Yangtze River, but a whole multitude of them. You wonder how they're, when the revolution comes, you wonder how many bodies come floating down the Yangtze River like they did during the, the Cultural Revolution.
Well, Ron, you can be optimistic because they built the Great Wall of China. Took centuries to do, but it's still standing. So there you see a vote of confidence.
Well, not all of it is still standing, but an awful lot is, yeah. But that's not in the same earthquake-prone area. That's, as I recall, could be wrong about this, it's on the northern section of, it was on the northern section of China because they wanted to keep out the barbarians.
The city of Chongqing, that area, and the Seven Gorges Dam did breach. A lot of people died. That was about 2 years ago.
That's right. You triggered a memory. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I used to live there in China, so I keep up with the news. You can watch their news and listen to what they have to say, and a lot of these disasters, it's kind of familiar that it's like when SARS came through, or these floodings, and they'll report, it's like 30 people have died, and the truth is it was thousands of people that died, and so it's kind of, it's the truth's out there, and I think we got the same thing here too, KB-40.
Again, triggers another thought here. There was a nuclear submarine being built, the most advanced nuclear submarine that China has. It sunk dockside somehow, who knows how, but it was dockside and it sunk. And the Chinese government, the Chinese-run news outlets have not acknowledged that months after the event.
Whatever happened with all that? Because it seems like, it looked like COVID was going to be like, the end of civilization as we knew it, and then, it turned out to be, what it was. But what's your take on that, Vogel? Yeah, especially asking the question. You doubled with Ron, and Ron won, so we didn't get the first part of it, but I get the gist of it. And, trying to question again. Sorry, I was rambling. With China, right before COVID started here, there was a lot of videos and stuff coming out of China of people falling over in the streets, and they were like supposedly welding people's doors shut to keep them in their apartments, and there was just piles of videos coming out about how horrible COVID was, and then that turned out to be like that wasn't a real thing as far as none of those things happened here in the U.S. with people getting sick like that. What's your take on those videos that came out at the very beginning? You want to ask me because I lived in China? Yeah. One of the few Americans that had COVID-2 back in 2000 when I was working in China. But what you saw in China was very accurate. Even here, like in Lenore, they COVID Delta, I think is what it was called, was so bad that, they set up a tent outside the hospital, and
a lot of people. I know America's AJ4BP, Ernesto Sr. was one of the people that was put there. I had to spend a night in the hospital, but no, people died. It just, some people could handle it better than others, but it was real bad, real bad. That's all true. You'll never get the true amount of people in China that have died from it. And, yeah, we can talk about this till the sun comes up, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not trying to, start the whole wild COVID debate, but when I saw those videos, me and my family, we were kind of concerned. I'm like, because again, that was December or January before COVID really took off here, and we went ahead and got ready. We had prepped for food and water and being out of work and blah blah blah, and then just didn't see those kinds of results or those kind of things happening here. So I was just always wondered what the deal was with that.
Oh, you shouldn't even get me started on this subject.
I bet.
Definitely don't want to get me started. I lost my wife 25 years over the protocol.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and I think the American people got flim-flammed, and I don't think it's going to happen again because people ain't going to put up with it, because we trusted our government. I'm sorry, but I just don't trust my government. They have lied to me so much and been deceptive, and even with what's going on today, they're not being transparent. And, I do not trust my government. I'm sorry. And I might have a black limo show up in my driveway in the morning, but, that's the way I feel.
Well, they'd be one of mine too, Lynn, because I went through that protocol stuff. I didn't say COVID did it. COVID's the reason she's in the hospital and the protocol started and medication started and then everything went kaput. But that's just my thought on it. But I'll be right with you, Lynn. There'd be one for mine too, N4ACO.
Say, Lynn?
I'm afraid to reply, Ron.
You just don't acknowledge the fact that the whole state of California was infected because the government didn't act quickly enough. They saw that surfer out in the ocean, and he probably had COVID, and they were after him because he wasn't obeying the curfew, and they didn't get him quick enough, and he infected the whole state.
Yeah, and I'll still be grateful for Trump saying, if you're from China, don't bother coming over here, because they'd already started coming over here with that. And he cut that out. So I was glad he done that, or things could have probably been worse. But, with something like that, man-made, and, they're supposed to be studying this stuff and create things, but they're supposed to have a antivirus for any kind of virus they develop. I mean, it's germ warfare is what it is, and the Chinese released it on us.
I don't believe that because I recall at the very beginning of this, Dr. Fauci said the Chinese were being very candid and open in talking about this, and they obviously were not the source of this.
You should believe Dr. Fauci, right?
Hey, Bill? I hope that was a joke.
Oh, you have to know Ron. He's facetious. But anyway, Dr. Fauci should be held in criminal contempt.
You'll at least run Hey, Bill and Collie Springs, you still there?
There you go, Mr. Bill.
bouncy.
Nah, he went to get him a bowl of ice cream and a cookie.
Yeah, I'm just seeing news guy. Well, I'm still without internet here. Got power and water, but no internet. Frank, you got power yet?
Negative, no power here yet. I'm running a little generator at the moment, and in about 20 minutes I'll shut it down and I'll be gone. But I think I heard the repeater ID, so KN4 ACU.
M4 DNX.
M4AZO.
KB4 DKW. Well, I have a generator here still, so if you need it, or I went out and got gas today, but had a wonderful meal down at Village and Pizza. I did deliver my van full of water from someone met me from High Point in Hickory, and we drove it up to Samaritan's First in Ball Rock and left it with them.
KI4CEKMOOSE.
WA2UCZ.
KO4DOT.
And I think this is the busiest the Rowdy Roundtable's been in a while.
It sure has been a handful, but yeah, I'm glad to hear everybody on here this evening, and it just makes me feel special that everybody's gathered together, almost like the family at Christmas.
Better be plugging that 6600, Dave.
Roger, you are exactly right, and I hope you guys do come by for the 6600 net on Saturday night at 9 p.m. We used to get 100 plus check-ins every Saturday night, and well, we've lost about 20 or 30 people to Silent Keys now that don't check in anymore, and the numbers have been way down.
Somewhere around 40, 38, 34, yeah. It varies every week, but yeah, it's been a little lacking.
Chris, I've had more people check in on my swap net on Thursday night at 8:30 than we've had on the 6600 net.
I know. Maybe things will change.
I'd say, because we've got to keep this repeater alive, and we got to get people. Well, what's amazed me in the last 3 or 4 days, the number of people that's checked in on the emergency net and everything. I did not realize there was so many call signs out there. It just boggled my mind.
It just impresses me that people are witty enough to, get off the handy-talkie or get off the radio, dust off the dust and plug it in and still come to the repeater and actually, have their licenses and talk.